Okay, good evening, everyone, and thank you all for coming. This is the Whittingham Homeowners Association / Greenbriar at Whittingham Community Joint Open Board Meeting for Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. Would you all please rise for a pledge of allegiance? All right, Matt, can you please give us a roll call?
Absolutely. We're going to start with the WOA board. Tom Clark,
Here.
Jay Ressler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason,
Here.
and Jeff Simonson.
In attendance.
Let's go over to the wonderful Greenbriar board. Mark Sirks.
The wonderful Greenbriar Board President is present.
Thank you. Alan Greenberg.
I'm just here.
He's just here. Chester Trubinsky. And Jack Sandler, I see you on Zoom.
I'm here on remote, yes.
Thank you, Jack. And myself, Matt Lubis is here, and Susie Weingartner.
Okay, Matt, do you have a manager's report for us?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing. And I'm not going to get into too many of the things that are on the agenda because we'll talk about them because that's a lot of projects we've been working on that are finally coming to fruition here for you guys. I don't know if anyone has noticed, we've done some work to the gazebos, some refurbishing. The one over on Chichester is done, power wash painted, looks beautiful, fixed some wood. We just finished the one back here by the tennis courts as well. That looks awesome, much needed work. The Whittingham roof project, we are almost there. We got 2 buildings left. We got 42 and 11 Rutland. So be happy when that one's over. It's gone very smooth. You guys have been very patient. So thank you for that. A couple other things that we've already approved. We're just waiting on dates to start when it warms up a little bit, which it already has. The Whittingham driveway sealing project. We should probably have a date in the next day or 2 for that. And then we'll get all notices out to everybody. It's driveways, it's crack sealing, it's seal coating. Any of the parking areas are getting done. They'll get restriped. So it'll look really nice and fresh. The big thing now, we're working on a lot of things out by the outdoor pool area to get that ready because Memorial Day is only a few weeks away. We had to replace the roof out on the gazebo because it was basically falling apart. If you play golf and you drove by it, you probably saw half the shingles missing. So we got that all taken care of. Some of the railings were tightened up and we got some power washing and painting that we're going to be talking about tonight.
Okay, all right, thank you for the report.
You got it.
Kristen is not in tonight, so Susie, could you give a report on recreation?
Sure. Saturday, May 18th at 1 p.m., there will be a movie in the ballroom, La Dolce Villa, no sign up required. Health lecture on May 19th at 1 p.m. in the ballroom. The topic is choosing healthy alternatives to managing pain. Wednesday, May 21st, there's a bus trip to the New York City Theater District, $30 a person, on sale with the concierge. Saturday, May 24th at 7 p.m. in the ballroom, Vito Picone and the Elegance will be here. Buy your tickets today for $30 with the concierge. And Monday, May 26th, Memorial Day, will be catered by the Greenery. Food will be in the ballroom from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Tickets are $20 each and available with the concierge.
Okay, yeah, do you have any indication what that menu is gonna be for Memorial Day? Do you have the,
Oh, but I know it's going to be more than just hamburgers and hot dogs.
okay, yeah, I know that too. I was just wondering if you could give it to everyone if you had it.
That means potato
Okay.
chips.
Yeah, it'll be a good meal for $20. Trust me, you'll have a good time. All right, let's move on. Let's do item number 5, which goes over to the Greenbrier business. So I'll turn it over to Mark Search at this point.
Okay, so first up, I make a motion, we approve the joint open meeting minutes from the last meeting, March 27th. Second,
Okay, roll call. Mark Sirks,
yes?
Alan Greenberg,
Yes.
Chester Trubinsky, and Jack on Zoom.
Yes.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay. The next thing we have is a contract with LMS to replace and repair retaining wall that has been failing. We removed a tree in anticipation of that. And now there's some stump grinding that has to be done and retaining wall replaced. And that contract is for $6,745 over on Whitehall Road. I make a motion, we approve that contract. Second,
All right, roll call. Mark Sertz,
yes?
Alan Greenberg. Yes. Chester Trubinsky. And Jack Sandler.
Yes.
Thanks, Jack.
Okay. Next item, I'm going to talk about the consolidation project. Before I do, I want to take one step back, put on a little different hat that has to do with the Pulse. The Pulse should be in your mailbox in the next couple of days. And the new issue. In the first issue, there was a lot of puzzles and word finds and things like that. Those are actually fillers that the publisher puts in. We have a 48-page magazine, and if we don't fill all the pages, they fill it in with puzzles and word searches and Sudokus, which is fun and it's nice. And I was kind of glad to see it, but I'd much rather see our material in there. Well, the next issue has no puzzles. I don't think there's maybe one small one. We really filled the issue this month. And in fact, I think there were a few things I couldn't even fit in, which I don't think has ever happened before when we were doing the paper in the other version. So the input we're getting from the community is very good, but we need it to be steady. If you are a club president or involved in one of the clubs, or you have an article of interest to write, please get it in. The deadline is the 7th of the month. And after that, we just don't know if we can accept something, because that's when we start putting it to bed. There's a long lead time on getting this product out the door. So that's why it's like that. So get me some material, but I think the next issue is going to look really, really good. And I'm hoping we're starting to work on the June issue now. Okay. On consolidation, we have been running sessions in the ballroom and on Zoom to help explain to the community what the consolidation is about. Kathy and I have been running the sessions, and behind the scenes, Kathy and a lot of the members of the WOA board have been working on the paperwork and the structure and the legal documentation. And I think we're at the point we finally have the legal documents completed with the lawyers. And so they will be published shortly. Now, the legal document we're talking about, it's an amendment, it's a declaration, and it is the document that you will actually be voting yes or no. Beginning in June, the vote will begin to take place. It'll be largely done through the internet, electronically. It'll be available to be done manually for those people who don't use the internet. But it'll begin in June, and you'll be voting yes or no on this legal document. The document is a little dense because it's a legal document, and it simply has to be. But we will give you a bullet pointed recap of what's in the document, what the important points are. Frankly, we are hard pressed to see any reason why members of our community would not want to participate. This is really largely invisible for the most part to the community. It mostly affects how we function as a board, but there are some benefits and savings to the community that we discuss at the various sessions. There'll be some more coming up in May. Kathy and I are going to sit down with Kristen and come up with some more dates in May to have more sessions in the ballroom, and then we'll go right to the vote from there. So, you have anything to add?
Just want to say, I don't know, Matt, where you might have put the flyers. For anyone who has not seen one of the flyers, perhaps being handed out at an event, please take one. They are in the back of the room. They give you a good summarization of what the consolidation is, what the purposes are, what the benefits are, and hopefully it will at least give you some information that you can use when it comes time to vote. And I just want to clarify something. The voting will will commence on June 5th. We're going to hold it open for a while, probably until the middle of July. That vote on June 5th is to vote yes or no to amend the governing documents for the consolidation. And as Mark said, the entire board on our side for WOA and the entire board for Greenbriar all believe that this is the best thing for the community. And I think management shares our opinions. Thank you.
So as Kathy explained, we're voting in June for the amendment. It will either pass or fail. Subsequently, when is it we normally have our elections? In September, right? In September, we'll have an election. The election will be as follows. If the vote passes, we will be voting to fill all 9 empty seats of the new board. If the amendment fails, then we'll be voting for whoever's seats are up on the Wall board and whichever seats are up on the Greenbriar board. I don't know how many they have, how many we have, but it'll just be a normal election for whatever seats have become available at that point. So that's what, that'll all happen in September in the normal time of year that we do that. Done.
Okay, well, thank you for the report. Thank you for the information. Let's go under item number 6, WOA business. I've got the approval of the March 18, 2025 open workshop meeting minutes. Do I have a motion for that? Motion by Jay, approved, second by Joe. Any comment on it? Seeing no comment, I'll take a roll call on that.
Okay, Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Ressler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason,
Anus, I wasn't here.
okay, and Jeff Simonson.
Yes.
All right. Next item I have is the approval of the March 27, 2025 joint open meeting minutes. Do I have a motion? Motion by Bob Brown, second by Jay. Do I have any discussion on this? Seeing no discussion, I'll close it and I'll take a roll call, Matt.
Okay, Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Ressler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason,
Yes.
and Jeff Simonson.
Yes.
Okay, the next item we have is the approval of a contract for 50A Rutland Drainage and Structural Repairs with Bardini Construction for the cost of $14,700. As we mentioned last week, this has been an ongoing effort here long before either Kathy or Bob Brown or I came on the board. It was already business of the board. All the issues have been resolved with the structural engineers. We've gone out for bid on this to get the work done. And we've got a good price, so we're ready to award the contract so that the problem with the structures over there can be repaired and taken care of. So, knowing that, does anyone in the public have any comment on this? Okay, please come up to the microphone, please. Okay, we'll answer a question.
Hi, my name is Julia Lauren.
Yeah, can you
Oh,
speak
Yeah.
right, speak into the mic, that's
Yeah.
all.
okay. Oh, my name is Julia Gorin. I live on 50B Rutland Lane. And I need to know when it's going to be fixed my patio. It's been for 6, 7 months.
Yes,
He knows all that.
we agree with you.
Yeah,
We're awarding the contract tonight. Matt, has the contractor given you any indication when he'll be able to proceed and begin work?
He has not, but I'll be talking to him tomorrow once this is approved. And our game plan is to get me, you, and your neighbor and the contractor all together, have a little pre-construction meeting, and we'll give you all the dates and times and what to expect. So we'll get it done as quick as we can for you.
All right, it's in the contractor's best interest. He wants to get paid, so I think it'll happen sooner than later.
Well, it's about time.
I agree.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be upset.
I agree.
You know, I spoke to Matt many times, but no avail. Spoke to Ray, you know, and I think I should be able to enjoy my patio.
You should.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else in the public have any comment on this? Seeing no one in the public, I'll close the public part. Anyone on the board have any comment on this?
Yes. What I'd like to do is, as we go through these contracts, I just want to identify where the funding will come from so that everyone is aware of what part of the, and whose budget, so what part of the budget and whose budget it is that will be funding this particular either contract or project. So in the case of 50A Rutland, it's drainage and structural repairs. They are repairs. This will come out of the operating budget for condo. Okay.
Any other comment from the board? Okay, seeing no one on the board, I'll close that. I'll take a motion. Motion by Jay, second by Kathy. All right, get, Matt?
Okay, Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Respler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason,
Yes.
and Jeff Simonson. Boy, Jeff, you were quick.
All right, next item is the approval of a contract to replace the condominium privacy fencing replacements with our Pardini Construction for a cost of $431,923.74. Do I have anyone in the public who would like to make comment on this? Please come up, Carmine.
Carmine Campanella, 80 Leeds Lane. When I look at this $431,000, I am not familiar with this fencing. Can you elaborate as to
Sure.
what does it entail? What kind of fencing is it? What
Sure.
is it preventing,
Mhm.
et cetera, et cetera?
As at the last workshop meeting, we did go over the options that the board had with this. Everyone likes to see the wood. It's priced out of sight. We would be doubling the cost of this project if we stuck with that.
So this
Uh,
is the fencing behind each home?
This is all behind all the Whittingham homes, townhomes, and single-family homes where they have privacy fencing.
So these are going to be torn down and replaced?
Totally, yes.
Okay. How many homes are we talking about?
The total number is 200.
215.
Okay, so you're talking about 2,000.
Yeah, we're doing the entire community. We're not piecemealing it because it would make the whole community look terrible.
So
It's got to
about-
be uniformed all the way through.
So it's about $2,000 a home, something like that.
Well, yeah,
There-
I
there
mean, we
are-
have it broken down by each property. The contractor did go out and look at, it, measure it, so we have a cost for each individual home. But this is the total amount that we
Okay.
have.
I just wanted a clarification because I'm seeing this large number and I'm saying, for what? You know,
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
now that you've explained it, it makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
It's a major capital improvement to the properties, in Whittingham.
All right, thank you.
And let me just add a little bit to that, just to give it a little more clarification. These fences were last installed, barring a few here and there that may have fallen down, but these fences were installed over 25 years ago. Some are, in fact, I believe are from the original, if they're even standing. Those are probably the ones that are in the worst shape. We we're following the capital reserve study, and they do come up to be replaced. And we decided, okay, we'll go around the community. We will look to see what needs to be replaced. And as Tom indicated, the cost of wood to sort of align with the others was just so exorbitant that we could not do that.
This
So-
could be PVC or,
It will be
Yeah,
PVC.
There's samples of it out in the lobby.
Yes.
okay, thank you.
Okay, and to make the community uniform, we decided we would replace all of them.
Okay, this is on the fencing?
I just want to step back a second on the Greenbriar contract that we awarded. Which part of the budget is that coming from?
That's just going to
Like
come
what?
from the operating account, grounds and
Yes.
maintenance.
Yes,
Not for reserve.
No.
nope.
Okay.
So now let me speak about the 431,000, that 431,924 for these condominium privacy fences. These are replacements. This will come out of the condo capital reserves. Okay, Whittingham Homeowners Association condos capital reserves. Just to put it in perspective so that everyone has a good understanding, we did roofs that came out of condo capital reserves. At the end of 2024, we had $1,238,000 plus in that, or as a balance in that account. That, of course, is reduced by what we did for the roofs and now what we will do for the privacy fences, and will be replenished by what the operating budget now transfers over, and that comes from your maintenance costs, transfers over to the capital reserve. By the end of the year, we anticipate that, and this is all approximate, but we anticipate that we will probably end the year with about 766,000. That continues to be replenished every month and will continue through 2026. We don't have major projects, thank goodness, in 2026. So I think we will have enough time to replenish the account and build it up again.
Okay. Anyone else in the audience want to speak on this issue?
I just want to clarify, I misspoke. I said 215 is 213.
Okay. Seeing no one else in the public, I'll close the public portion. Anyone on the board had any comment for this? All right. I've made my comments. I'm really glad this is happening. This is going to make the community look so much better. And Carmine, for you and all the golfers, it's going to look a lot better to see these fences from the golf course, I'm sure.
Watch where you hit the ball.
Yeah, don't hit on your.
Okay. All righty. Matt, can I have a roll call, please?
Tom Clark?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I
Oh,
get
let's
a
get a
motion on
motion
this?
quick.
Yeah, we did. We did. We're ahead of you.
All right, Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Respler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio,
Yes.
Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson.
Okay, great. All right, next item we have here is approval for a contract for the reconstruction of the pickleball tennis courts number 4 and 5 with Garden State Pavement Solutions for a cost of $138,939. As we mentioned last week, again, this is a major rebuilding of these courts. They're in really bad shape. If anyone who plays a sport can tell you, they know that. Kathy Donano is a pickleball player. She's there with the members all the time, and she's been on top of this contract since we began having discussions with vendors when we put the bidding process out. So she's fully aware of negotiating, and she's done a great job in getting this price down to this, because the initial costs were much higher. So I would like to, at this point, if any other questions or someone in the audience, Do you have any questions on this? Like to come up and say anything or make a statement? Okay, seeing no one in the public, then I will close it. Anyone on the board?
I'm going to do the same thing with this so that everyone is aware. This will come out of the capital reserves for WOA. And to do similar to what I did with condo. So this project, and there are some others also that come out of WOA's reserves. This project will cost us $139,000 at the end of 2024 in the capital reserves for WOA. We had $714,000. With this project and others, by the end of the year, again, replenishing our account each month, we should end the year at approximately 900,000. So we're good shape there.
All righty. Thank you, Kathy. All right, let's go on to the next item. The approval of a contract for 50B Winthrop lower roof replacement with Biondo Contracting. I'm sorry, I didn't take the vote on it.
Nope.
I'm in a hurry, I guess. I don't know.
You're in a hurry, Tom.
Well, I'm already missing the Yankees, so that's okay. I'm not rushing for that.
If, Tom,
Do
do
I,
you-
do I have a
mind-
do I have a motion to approve? I have Jay to make the motion, second. Kathy will second it. Okay. Now you got the show. Go.
All right. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Ressler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason,
Yes.
and Jeff Simonson.
Yes.
Tom, would you mind if I add a quick comment on the pickleball stuff?
Sure, go ahead.
We're going to be getting a signed contract over to them tomorrow. As soon as we get that to them, they're going to give us the date when it's on the schedule. So as soon as we get that, we'll start communicating that. The main access point for construction vehicles to come in is going to be over on Rutland. So we're going to get notices out to everybody there, let them know kind of what's going on and what to expect as we get a date and get closer.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, let's move on then to the approval of a contract for 50B Winthrop lower roof replacement with Biondo Contracting for a cost of $7,475,000. This is a very small project. It's just one home that has, I think it's the Grande model. They're notorious for leaking because the roofs weren't built with enough pitch. So it's at a state that this has got to be repaired, just that one section. So that's what the contract is for. Does anyone in the public have comment on it? Seeing no one, I'll close the public. Anyone on the board? Okay, no one on the board. Matt, can I have a motion to approve? Moved by Jeff, second by Kathy. Go ahead, Matt.
Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Ressler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason,
Yes.
and Jeff Simonson.
Yes.
All right, next item is the approval of a contract for leasing 14 new cardio machines for the gym.
Oh, wait,
With-
you skipped one.
Oh, I checked the wrong one. You're right. Well, let's do this one. We'll go back. I've already begun reading it. The approval of contract for leasing of 14 new cardio machines for the gym with Energy Wellness for 60 months for a total of $1,817,017 per month, including all preventative maintenance for the term of the lease. As we stated last week, this is a contract to get rid of all that old equipment that's in there. Much of it is 20 years old, and we're going to lease it because it gives us an advantage of making sure that the machinery is in good working order. Staff will not have to waste their time dealing with the breakages and the inconvenience of having signs on the equipment waiting for it to be repaired. So we're going to accomplish all that. And of course, at the end of the year, when we do our taxes like any corporation, it does give us a write-off. So we have a tax advantage going this route as well. So let me give you a little idea of what we're doing here. We're replacing all the treadmills. There's 6 of them. There's 2 new recumbent cycle bikes, 2 new true gravity cross trainers, 2 recumbent cross trainers. Actually, there'll be 2 new ones, and we're going to keep the older one, which is fairly new. That's one of the newer equipments that are in there. We're going to retain that one. So there'll actually be 3 of them in the gym now. And we'll have 2 of the recumbent cross trainers, and 2 of the true series urgent upright cycle bikes. So it's going to be really great, all new equipment up there with a lot of new electronic gizmos on it that you can program a lot of cycles and take advantage of all the stuff that the latest technology offers. So it's really going to be a big improvement. And we're hoping to get this in here by maybe sometime in June.
Hopefully before, but
We're
we're going
hoping.
to shoot for June 1st.
We actually raced with this one because of the tariffs and the uncertainty with pricing. We wanted to lock in these lower rates that we negotiated. We didn't want to wait any longer because we were afraid the next time we would try, the prices would be much higher. So that's why we move forward with it right now. So saying that, anyone in the public have any comment? Seeing no one in the public, close the public. Anyone on the board?
Just going to do the same. This particular contract will come out of the operating budget for WOA.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? All right, do I have a motion to approve? Motion by Bob, second by Joe. Go ahead, Matt.
All right, let's roll. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Respler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason,
Yes.
and Jeff Simonson.
Yes.
Okay, well, then let's go back then to the approval of the contract for the clubhouse parking lot repairs, crack filling, seal coating, striping with Johnson Barron Corporation for a cost of $31,861.50. Matt, can you give some information to everyone on this project, please?
Oh, I would love to. I don't know if anyone's seen all the cracks in the lower lot. It's in really, really bad shape. All the lines are faded. I can't even see them in my backup camera on my car, so you know it's pretty bad. It needs a lot of work. There's a couple minor areas we have to mill up and do some repairs to, but it's everything in the lower lot and all in front of the clubhouse and over on the nurses side as well. So we're going to do this in stages because obviously we've got to keep the clubhouse open. We got to keep the golfers going back there. So as soon as we have a date and a game plan, we'll communicate that to everybody. We want to just make sure everybody can come down here, use the facilities without having an issue. Obviously, the weather's got to warm up a little bit for the crack filling and the painting, but we'll get the word out to you guys as soon as we have the date and the game plan.
Okay, great, thank you. Do I have anyone in the public want to make comment on this? All right, seeing no one, I'll close the public portion. Anyone on the board?
This particular contract will come out, or this funding will come out of, again, the operating budget for WOA.
Okay, great, thank you. Anyone else? All right, seeing no further comments from the board. You have something else you want to say? You all right? All right, seeing no one else, I'll close that part. Do I have a motion to approve? Moved by Jay, second by Kathy. Okay, Matt, please.
Okay, Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Respler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson.
Okay, next item is the approval of a contract for the pool area painting with repairs with Veta Painting for a total cost of $12,500. This is basically getting the pool ready. A lot of repairs had to be done to a lot of the to the gazebo that's in the pool area on the top of the high rise where everyone likes to sit. It was in really bad shape, needed to be totally repaired. And we're doing power washing, a lot of old paint, which means that you lose a lot of the paint with the power washing. Everything needs to be repainted. So this contract will cover that. And it's for a total cost again of $12,500. Does anyone in the public have any comment on it? Okay, seeing nobody, I will close the public. Anyone on the board?
Yes, again, this will come out of WOA's operating budget. I do want to go back. I apologize. The Johnson Barron contract for the parking lot repairs and the crack filling, that's a capital item. And that was included with all the capital work that I spoke about before. We will have a $900,000 balance by the end of the year.
Okay, anyone else on the board? All right, close that. Do we have a motion to approve? Moved by Bob, second by Kathy. I, Kathy with a K. I'll give it Kathy with a K this time. All righty, thank you. Matt, please.
Okay, Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Respler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson.
All right, the last item that was added on here was for the approval of a contract for various WOA common area landscaping improvements with landscape maintenance for a total cost of 21,000 plus tax. Does anyone in the public have any comment on this? All right, seeing no one, I will close it. Anyone on the board? Kathy, you have something you'd like to say on this?
So as a result of our meetings with our landscape committee, we met with the vendor LMS and discussed doing various, I'm going to call it beautification of the grounds around the community. So this 21,000 will replace, let me take it piece by piece. There will be just adjustments made to the main gate beds. There are a lot of dead, either boxwoods, there are some laurels that have just not grown properly and do not look good, and some are just, it's time to go. So they're going to replenish the beds for the main gate. Prospect Plains, we will beautify the center meridian, and the clubhouse will also get all the laurels that you see that are dead on the left side of our entrance. Some of the arborvitaes, some of these or whatever is dead will be replaced. Some of the boxwoods will come out, and they're going to add just a refreshing look. And that will take care of all three areas of the community.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Anyone else on the board have any comment on this?
And
Okay,
let me just add that that is, again, a WOA operating expense. We budget for that, and we expected to incur some cost to just upgrade the community.
all right, anyone else? All right, I'll close that. And do we have a motion to approve? Motion by Bob, second by Joe. Okay, Matt, please.
Okay, Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Respler, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson.
Okay, thanks. All right, let's turn this meeting back over to the Greenbriar for some of their committee reports.
Okay, before we do that, I wanted to ask you, Matt, we had talked a little while back about yellow painting, refreshing some of the yellow paint and also adding them to some of the curved areas so that's to create a no parking zone. Is that scheduled to be done by our own maintenance folks?
Yeah, Bill's going to be doing that. I think you should look in your approval queue for invoices because there's a couple in there for yellow paint.
Oh, I think we approved I approved cans of paint already, right? Didn't I?
What, you got some more because we bought
Oh,
some
I
more
didn't
paint,
see 'em.
so that means it's going to
Okay.
get going pretty soon.
Okay, okay, and that'll be done by our own maintenance folks.
Yes.
Okay. The other thing we did talk about also was blackening out the stop line on Harwood so as to create a circumstance where people would stop further up at the newly painted crosswalk that is proud of the stop sign. Are we gonna X out that stop line?
Yeah, I got to give you info on that. We have Johnson Barron's going to be coming in to do some painting
Yeah.
over in Whittingham and some things on Whittingham Drive, like refreshing the crosswalk. So we're going to have them do that at that time. I don't have a schedule for that
Okay.
yet,
But
but
it's gonna be blacked out. In other words, it's not gonna be like the yellow or the white that they're gonna be painting. It's gonna
Yeah.
be blacked out. And
Gotta
so
be
the
blacked
stop
out.
sign, so the stop line will be eliminated. The stop sign will remain where it is. It cannot be moved forward, like I said
Yep.
to the gentleman here who complained about why it can't be moved forward. But the crosswalk that the committee came up with, that they put in, will now become the stop.
correct,
Hopefully will become the place where people logically stop. Okay.
correct.
That's the best we can do.
Yep.
You know, it's part of what I've been doing. I've always read the newspapers from the other communities around here because I've always been working on the Voice. So I always read the other community papers to see what they're up to, what stories they publish, what the clubs are doing, and so on. And I've seen more than one article in other communities talking about why are we driving so fast in our community? It's a common thread that runs through all these senior communities, and I imagine all communities. So, okay, let's jump to budget and finance. The only thing to be said about that is that early in May, I think the 8th or 9th of May, we have a budget committee meeting. And so that will be probably the first big budget committee. We have had one, but this is the first one where we'll be looking back at the first quarter results and analyzing how we've done, where we've gone awry, and so on. So that's our opportunity. Okay, covenants. Unfortunately, the people in Greenbriar failed to break the rules sufficiently enough to generate an agenda for covenants. If the folks would start doing more about breaking the rules, we'd have more to do in covenants, but it seems to be a failure on our part. So we have nothing for covenants, but go ahead on site review.
Site Review Committee met on April 1st. We had 29 applications which were reviewed. We sent a few back to property management for incorrect or lack of information. The committee members conducted 23 inspections. So we're up to our usual volume again now that the weather has changed.
And for newcomers, there's nothing new to report. We haven't had a meeting or a session since a month and a half ago, and probably won't have another one for a couple more months.
Let's go back to some more business. Let's do reports. Budget and finance. Kathy, you have anything to add on that?
I do. As Mark indicated, we are meeting with our Budget and Finance Committee on May 8th to discuss the first quarter results and to talk about where we are headed with our budget. After we meet, as always, the financials will be posted to the portal. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. We have anyone to report on the covenants?
We didn't have to meet either, so everybody in our community is well behaved.
Okay. Boy, are we lucky. All right, let's go on to the entertainment committee. Bob, you have a report for us?
Yes.
Thank you.
We had the Doobie Others last weekend and we had a great turnout. It was a really great night. And we're looking forward to another great event on May 24th, Vito Pacone and the Elegance. And we're hoping we get a great turnout for that also. The committee has been working very hard to get great entertainment, and I think we are. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Landscape committee.
We met with the Landscape Committee, as I just indicated, on April 25th. We discussed the contract that we just approved. and just going around the community and sprucing it up, upgrading it, making sure that everything looks wonderful for the community.
Okay, thank you. Site review, anything to report?
We had one new application and one new inspection.
Yeah, can't hear you.
Was on. One new application and one new inspection of completed approved work.
Okay,
That's it.
all right. Thank you. Town Center Committee. Okay. All right, no report for Town Center Committee then. All right. Let's move on to item number 8, which is the open forum. Anyone in the audience would like to come up and address any issue, you certainly can. Name and address before you begin.
Carmine Campanella, 80 Leeds Lane. I'd like to disagree with the reports of the WOA Covenants Committee and the Greenbriar Covenants Committee. You say everybody's happy and being innocent, and I have to beg to differ with you. 6 years ago, I was chairman of the House Committee of the Covenants Committee, and Joe Adonazio would attest to the fact that we would have anywhere from 4 to 6 or 7 cases every month. Every month we would have cases, okay? And most of that came from security, okay? And that tells me that security is not doing their job, because I've seen cars parked at the curb. As far as the yellow painting of the curb is concerned, they were doing it today on Leeds, and I have to tell you that I was the one who instigated that back about 6 or 7 years ago. To have the curbs at the stop sign and opposite the stop sign painted yellow, and all the areas around the hydrants. So I think you need to look at the security, because when I was chairman, we would get photographs of people putting. We were always concerned about rodents and things like that when the garbage went out, and we never allowed garbage in bags to be placed in the street till the next morning. And we would have constant complaints about that, and we would fine people. So the security that we had back then is not the security that we have now, and it's not the security that we just got through changing, because nobody is doing their job. You cannot tell me that for 6 years you've had, I think the last time when Joe was chairman, I think they might have gone 10 months without a meeting, and that's uncalled for. So people better take a look at what the security is doing at night, instead of just driving around and doing nothing. So take it to heart. Somebody's doing something wrong if you're not getting cases, because you got a community of 22,000 some odd people, and you cannot tell me that everybody's not going through a stop sign or driving 35 miles an hour or doing stuff that they're not supposed to do. Okay? I leave it up to you.
Okay. Duly noted. Thank you. Who's out? I can't see everyone behind the curtain. I'm sorry.
Cliff Derlacker, 7 Brighton Court. As president of the Pickleball Club, I wanted to express our appreciation and gratitude to Kathy Dodano, Matt Lubis, and the rest of the board for the hard work that they put in choosing a vendor and getting a great price for this project. And I'm hoping my knee will be ready before the project is done, but we'll see. On another note, we are going to encourage our club to be voting for the consolidation. So hopefully that will help get it passed.
Okay, thank you.
And Cliff, we're hoping your club picks out some colors for us too.
Yes, please, name and address.
Hi, Debbie Lippman, 68B Winthrop. I have 2 issues. I'm moving. I have my house up for sale. I've been.
Yeah, a little closer
Aren't
to
I?
the mic.
Okay, I am moving. I've spoken to 4 realtors, and there is a problem in the Whittingham section with prospective buyers getting mortgages with Freddie and Sally Banks. So basically, they have to go out of the way to this one other bank that they know about that will give mortgages, and they are about a percentage higher. And it has to do with what you signed or the lease that you have with the third party in the golf course, and it is affecting Whittingham.
Actually affects the entire community.
This
What,
does not affect the entire community. I've had 4 realtors tell me that they have had no problem selling homes in Greenbriar and getting mortgages. It's Whittingham.
I'm sorry, but it actually affects,
Kathy has some information on this.
We spoke with our attorneys about this issue. This became an issue, a problem with, or let's say after the Surf City incident in Florida. What ended up happening was that all communities who raised their deductibles and their insurance deductible, as Whittingham did, ended up automatically going on a list for Freddie Mac and Sally Mae. And that therefore disqualified those who are applying for a mortgage from getting a mortgage.
Okay, well, if that was something that was known, why would they do that? You
Well-
have basically left half a community with a big problem in trying to sell a home, because if a prospective buyer is not paying cash, then they can't get a mortgage from these banks.
Well, I can't say that we are responsible for that. This
Well-
was an issue because, and this applies to all the communities around, certainly in Monroe that I'm aware of. So as I understood it, and again, we worked with our attorneys to try to get this reversed.
Okay.
They did everything they possibly could to attempt to contact Freddie Mac and Sally Mae and try to understand what the issue was. The problem is, and as you are all aware, our insurance deductible went up to, forgive me, I was timing this. So our insurance was increased because of the increase in insurance rates. The fact that we had so many nuisance lawsuits that no insurance company would cover us.
Well, when we
Yeah.
had the fire in the clubhouse, why did we have to get our insurance raised when it was people who were working in the clubhouse that caused the fire?
Well, we cannot.
Why weren't their insurances paying for this? Why
Okay.
was ours raised?
I am not aware that we had, again, the understanding, and we were not on the board at the time, but the understanding about the fire in the clubhouse was that it was not caused. There was no one to blame. It was purely an accident. There was no cause, no one we can go after their insurance. So again, the understanding was that as a result of that claim and many, many nuisance claims, I would almost, I'm inclined to say that the bigger problem was the hundreds of nuisance claims filed by community members for many, many different reasons. In any event, the insurance company refused, many insurance companies refused to insure us as a community. And again, the same happened to Concordia and to Clearbrook. I'm not sure about Regency. I think Regency also. But everyone is facing the same problem. And
You can speak to my realtor.
Yes.
She has told me that the only problem is here in Whittingham. She has no problem selling anything in Concordia. She has no problem selling anything in Greenbriar. She has no problem selling anything in the other developments around. It's Whittingham that is the problem for them. And I've been told this
I
by
don't know.
4 different realtors.
I have a different understanding of it. And Matt, let me ask you if Jack is on and is listening, because I'd like him to verify what I'm saying, because I heard a whole other explanation for why our entire community is ineligible for Sally Mae and Freddie Mac financing. And the reason, what's going on with this thing? The
Yeah, but
reason,
it's not the whole community. You can
let
talk
me
to my
finish what I'm
realtor.
saying. Would you let me finish?
She has closed
All right,
houses
I'll
in
let you
Greenbriar
talk
and had
instead.
no issues.
I think what he's saying, there's just a
Thank you.
difference of opinion here. He's saying what you're saying is not totally correct. He's got a different opinion
You
on
can
it.
have a different
entirely-
opinion, but when I have a realtor, 4 realtors telling me the same
well,
thing, who
ma'am,
sell homes here
ma'am,
and
there's
have no
different views
problem
on it.
in Greenbriar and just
right,
Whittingham,
all right.
it doesn't
You-
matter what his opinion is.
Well,
Thank
what are
you.
you suggesting the board do here? What are you suggesting for us to do?
I
We
don't know
told
what
you
I'm
where the problem
suggesting.
lies. It lies with Freddie and Sally. So what do we do? We don't control them. We don't control them. I've had a conversation with the mayor about this because there's other communities involved as well. The problem's in Washington with this, because those are the people who put us on their list. The federal government controls Freddie and Sally. So please send a letter to your local assembly people, I mean, to your Congress people who are overseeing our district here, and let them know it. I had this conversation with the mayor, and I asked him to work with the legislators to try to get them to come meet with us. We were even trying to get a meeting with them. We couldn't get it. So, I mean, there was nothing we could do. And this was a year ago.
Made the attempt to speak with, or our management prior to first service, made the attempt to speak with Freddie Mac and Sally Mae, or a Freddie Mac representative, and they would not speak to us. That's why we got the attorneys involved. The attorneys are the ones that gave me that explanation. And as I understood it, Concordia has a $100,000 deductible. Clearbrook has a $100,000 deductible, and anyone trying to get a mortgage there is unable to also.
That's not what my realtor has said.
Well, the
She's
realtors maybe
understand
not,
that.
there.
maybe your realtors aren't giving you the right information either. But,
All 4 did.
well, listen, we've had this discussion. We've done what we
All right,
could.
okay.
We're gonna
Now-
try to, I wish you a lot of luck in selling your home. Listen, we're all homeowners here. We're all looking to make it better. But until we can get the Freddie and Sally people to move and take these communities off that list, whatever reason they imposed upon us, I mean, we're stuck.
Okay, now I have another issue.
Okay.
What is going on with the open houses in this development? My realtor just had one 8 weeks ago and went to have one on Sunday on my home, and she was told by security that they're not letting anybody in. Now, we all have to, this is not in the bylaws, so because she spoke to somebody that she knows from security, and they said it came down about 6 weeks ago. So who's made this
No,
decision?
this is, what you're talking about, the policy in place has been there forever. Matt, you want to give a little information on this? So
Well,
that's
wait a
not
minute.
correct. You're not getting right information.
Wait a minute. She had several open houses. The last one was 8 weeks ago. So this was news to her.
I'm telling you, this
And-
policy's been in place for long before anyone here was on this board.
Okay, so you have a policy, but it's not in the bylaws. So who decided the policy?
Matt, what do you have on this?
You're allowed to have open houses. The difference is, we don't just let the gates open up and people say, I'm going to an open house, and we let them in. The guards are supposed, the realtor's actually supposed to have appointments set up. Like, if people want to go to an open house, she needs to call the guard and let them know who's coming and what
She
time.
spoke to the guard. The guard actually was extremely nasty. And he said to her, if anybody comes for an open house, I'm not letting them in.
Yeah, they need to know who is coming to the open house.
Well, who knows who's coming to the open house? It's on MLS and it's listed from 1 to 3. Listen, we all have to sell homes here, whether you're alive or you're dead. Somebody's going to have to sell your home for you. Yes.
Yeah, they contact a realtor, let them know they're coming, and the realtor will call the gatehouse and give
Well,
them a name.
it's not listed in MLS like that.
Ma'am,
And
ma'am.
considering she's just had one 8 weeks ago, and that was not the case, and then all of a sudden this
Oh,
comes up. It's,
Listen, I can't speak to something I wasn't a part of, but I mean, Matt is correct in what he's saying to you. You can, the realtor needs to call. That's how your realtor's got to work your open house. People have to call his office to let him know they're coming in. They'll call the guardhouse, they'll have the name and they come in. It's not an issue. It's just got to be coordinated correctly.
Matt?
whatever.
Okay.
Could you please speak to security? Let's just make sure they're not sort of blanketly saying that you cannot
Yeah,
have an
because
Yeah,
open
if
we,
they
house.
didn't-
we,
if
we
they
just
didn't-
did recently. I wasn't aware of one 8 weeks ago, but we'll have a chat with them again.
Yeah, if they turn people away, I wouldn't want to come back here, especially to a nasty security guard who's turning you away and saying they're not allowed to have open houses here. It's not hearsay.
All right, all right. Thank you.
Mark Lindell, 15 Trent Road. Last week, we had a, it's on? Last week, I was here at the workshop meeting, and I think we have a much larger crowd here tonight. Kathy, last week you made comments about the pool reconstruction that was supposed to be a massive project. Could you repeat what you said last week to a more, to a bigger audience?
Oh, okay. All right. So last week, at the last workshop meeting, we did let everyone, we informed everyone what we had all learned in regards to the health of our pool. Long before we were on the board, there was a lot of activity with the then current board about looking into a new design for the pool. The statements were being made that the pool was unhealthy. It was leaking, it was cracks and so on, and the pool needed to be replaced up to about $2 million project. We met with the new pool management people when they came in. They gave us a health report on our pool. It's structurally fine. There's no cracks, there's no leaks. We had a meeting with the vendor who's been taking care of this pool for the last 40 years, and we brought him into our caucus meeting, and he informed the board exactly what I just said. You have no cracks, you have no leaks. He was puzzled by why you would want to replace it. He said most of the infrastructure in the pool has been replaced over the years, meaning all the filtration system, the heaters, the piping, and so on. The only thing that pool needs to be done, and we're going to have it in our capital operating budget for about 2 years from now, to do an update of the pool, where basically the contractor would come in and blast all the sanding off the interior part of the pool walls, put a new plastic coating on, a new lining, new coping, new tile on the top. So it gives it a whole upgrade. That's about a $300,000 project. So we're budgeting for that. We're going to do that in about 2 years. So why people were trying to say we needed a $2 million pool is beyond me. I'm not going to speak for anyone else. I wasn't here. But we verified all that information, and we're all very comfortable that the pool's in great shape. We're getting it ready for the pool season for this year as we normally would have. It's getting repainted. Everything's going to be ready for a go. It'll be good like that for the next 2 years until we do a major update on it. But the walls of the pool are solid. It's extra wide, thick concrete walls on that pool. Nothing is leaking. There's no problems with the pool. So why would you want to replace it? We've already spent many, many hundreds of thousands of dollars replacing the infrastructure of that pool. So, yeah, so we're going to just continue operating the pool the way we have been for the next 2 years until we're ready to do an upgrade on it in hopefully 2 years.
Hi, Nadine Waldman, 58 Birmingham. First, congratulations on a fantastic restaurant.
Oh.
It is apps. We're there at least once a week, sometimes twice a week.
All right, good.
Food is delicious, and we just need to keep encouraging the snowbirds to go there because he needs to survive. My other thing is also about the open houses. That's how I bought my house a couple of years ago. I didn't give my name to anyone. Saw it on MLS. I came in. Oh, I came in. I saw an open
Speak
house.
to the mic.
I
Speak to the
saw
mic.
an open house on an MLS a couple of years ago. That's how I bought my house. No realtor, nothing. I then ended up through the realtor that was there, but they didn't have my name. And also, about a year ago, there was an estate sale across the street from me. No names were given. People just came in. We're not a jail. I mean, you have to let people.
I agree with you. I agree with
And
you.
I
And,
just don't understand to be told,
well,
as of 6
all right.
weeks, can I
Matt,
just finish? 6 weeks ago, we were told the rule changed. You're not allowed to have open houses. Well, being on a board elsewhere, before I moved here, you can't change a rule without a quorum. So I don't know where security is getting this from. And they're very nasty no matter what happens. Passover, my guests had so many hassles and complaints from them. So we need to talk to the security
All right.
company and take care of this open house. People need to sell their houses.
Okay. We will follow up on what you're
Thank
saying.
you.
Thank you.
Say one thing on this.
Anyone else?
Yeah. The idea was not to keep people out, but to control the people that are coming in. So yeah, you can.
I just wanted to go back to the pool comment. That was really, really great news. 300,000 versus 2 million is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Speak closer to the microphone.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
So I just want to go back to the pool news that you gave. That's just great news that it's 300 versus 2 million, and it's a couple of years out. That's great news. So we get a lot of emails, and I spoke to a couple of board members about this. We get a lot of emails. You know, there's a dog loose on the golf course. Pick up after your dog. Could someone just send out an email to everybody with that good news? It'd be nice to hear what you just said. For people that are not here, just send an email out.
Here's our courier right here. We'll have it in the next June edition.
All right.
I just wrote he had me write an article for this month's coming out, I guess tomorrow, whenever it is. All right.
So it'll be in our newsletter.
We'll get more information out on that, letting people
Yep.
know what's happening. Yes.
Great. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
I think the newspaper is a great way to get information out to the community, and I think we're going to start to use it more and more. Sorry, Mark.
And it goes in everybody's mailbox.
Hi, Irene McNulty, 105 Chichester Road. A couple of things. One, about the open houses. I know at times around the holidays, if I'm having company, I'll call the guardhouse and I'll just say, between certain hours, would you please let all visitors in? Is it possible that the people that are selling their homes can't just call security and tell them that between 1 and 4, please let all visitors in?
Sure, they could. If they want to do it, if they have the information, they could do that, sure.
So maybe that might be an easy way to solve the open house issue.
All right.
Another issue, the speeding in the community. It's really, it's not good. And it's not just, delivery people, although sometimes it's the delivery people, sometimes it's even the Monroe senior buses that are coming in. And, I live on Chichester Road. It's very curvy. If you're walking, people are coming around. If there's somebody making a delivery or the mailman's there going around, really the speeding, I know at one point in the newspaper, they did mention something, on the front page, to please slow down, because it's really dangerous. And our bylaws, from what I kind of recall seeing, is that the community, we have to enforce the speed limit, and the community can be sued if we're not enforcing it. I mean, I kind of recall a sign on when you come in the Prospect Plains entrance where it says, please obey our speed limit laws, strictly enforced. I don't see really where there's any enforcement of it, and I think it's really dangerous. And the last thing is the utility boxes that are on the lawns. I think they're some of them are Comcast, some of them are public service. They're really in poor condition. Some of them, the encasements are all cracked, and the ground is really sloping down, and creating like real depressions in the lawn area. I don't know who takes care of any of that or how to address
Well, we
any
can
of that.
probably certainly contact the owner of those boxes, ask them to come and upgrade them.
Yeah, I mean, the best way to do it is actually if you have one that's in front of your house is to call them directly and just really complain about it. In my experience over the years in communities, me trying to, make a list and call it into Comcast or PSE&G or whoever doesn't seem to go too far. I think if you're the homeowner, it's on your front lawn, make a fuss about it.
Okay, and do you have any contact information that,
Not really. I don't have a special contact. It's just whatever number's on your bill to call.
You gotta identify, is it a Comcast box or is it
Yeah.
no, I guess I'll have to go out more closely at it.
more than likely it's probably a Comcast
Yeah,
box.
it should say on it.
Yeah, because the depressions are really, it kind of causes, if you're walking on the lawn, got to be careful. All right, thank you.
Okay, anyone else back? Anyone else waiting there? Okay, no one there?
Anyone on Zoom have questions?
Yeah, we got a couple Zoom here. Let's go to it. We have a couple of questions about the fences. Steve Byer asked, when the fences are replaced, are they using existing footings? Or are they also being replaced? We're doing all new footings and everything.
Everything. right.
Everything. All the posts will be put in concrete. They'll actually have concrete inside the post as well because it's PVC. So that's that, Steve. I think we got that. Oh, you also asked about what's the projected start date. I'll know more after we get the signed contract over to them and find out how long for materials. They're going to be buying all the materials at one time, so we have them here. Their best estimates are about 2 to 3 months for the whole project once they have everything here. But we'll communicate everything as we go, what buildings are getting done when and everything else. Len Marcoux also chimed in on Zoom with the fences. A lot of the issues with the fences are overgrown trees and bushes inside the patios and what will be done to prevent this. We're going to have a notice out from the contractor. You're going to have to remove some things to make way for the new fence. Whatever's on your existing fence is going to have to come off, and we're going to ask everyone for a little bit of clearance so we could do this job.
All right, we'll do that in the notification before the contractor begins work. We'll make sure everyone gets noticed on that.
Another question, why aren't the tennis courts being fixed as well? I think we can get through replacing the two in the back and then we'll maybe look at the tennis courts up front just because of budgetary reasons. A lot of questions about roofs over in Whittingham. This project had, off the top of my head, 14, 15 roofs. That phase is almost done. That's what I was talking about before, that we only have 2 left. And Kathy can correct me, but I think we're looking at maybe doing another phase in 2026. 26,
correct.
yep. End of 26. And I think that is all that I have right now. I hope I answered everybody's questions.
Okay. All right, well, seeing no further questions, I will entertain a motion for an adjournment. Moved by Jay, second by who? Kathy will second it. Okay.
Motion to adjourn Greenbriar.
Everyone, thank you all for attending. And if you have any questions, we'll be happy to try to, resolve them for you. Thank you all.